like champagne. I'm totally vibing. It's true what they say. It's all about timing.
Hi guys, welcome back to Unscripted. If you're new, I post vlogs on this channel as well as Western fragrance reviews. I do have a second channel, guys, called Sea Chronicles Talking Sense. In case you are interested in the Middle Eastern fragrances, that is where we drop them right there. Now, if you're new and you haven't subscribed, please do consider joining this family by subscribing. And if you're returning, thank you so much for the continued support. Welcome to today's video. I'm going to review two fragrances in one go. Okay, I'm going to give you Katy Perry's Indi as well as Indivisible, right? So this is the box for Indivisible, and it's the same box that you are going to get Indi in, except that the Indi one doesn't have the blue imprint there. Now, why I do not have the Indi one is because I've had Indi in my collection now for over a year. It is only Indivisible that I've decided to add to my collection. I'm going to hold the fragrances on each hand so that we don't get confused. Spray them on each hand and then I'll tell you my thoughts. So let's start by spraying Indi, right? And this is of Katy Perry. Okay, so there's plenty there. There's a reason why I decided to spray a lot there in one go. It is because to my nose, it is just one of those DNAs that even if you spray bathe in it, it really doesn't choke you out. Okay, so the new addition to my collection is going to be Indivisible, and we're going to spray here. This is not a first impressions. I have tried Indivisible to see what I think of it, and I think I'm ready to kind of give you a mental shortcut of what I feel over these two fragrances, right? All my thoughts. Let's start with the sister, okay, the first one, because I think this one followed after. Now, Indi, guys, is made up of musks. It's going to have all the musks you can think of. 5 musks to be specific. There's musk just in its form as musk, and then there's white musk, there's black musk, there's island musk, there's Egyptian musk. It is a host of a lot of musks in there, right? So you're going to be greeted by a fragrance that feels very powdery to an extent. The thing with this fragrance is it's one that draws you to it slowly. So it's one fragrance that just spraying it then, as much as I've oversprayed it, just comes across as a subtle, even soapy there. After this, burst settles of this like a powdery, soapy muskiness, there's going to be something that comes to the surface that feels like an aromatic, almost slight greenness there coming from the white tea. So that is what to expect from this, guys. It's going to, at that point, feel aromatic musky, that sort of thing. And then it opens like a peppery page there, almost woody, with a slight spiciness, and I think a tonka, if I'm not mistaken. It's a fluffy cloud to an extent. Some people from this fragrance get a coconut tone. It just depends on how your nose interprets the fragrance, but in itself is a very nice, relaxing fragrance, which will have that oddness if you are not accustomed, to fragrances done in an artistic way. It doesn't have that traditional celebrity scent kind of DNA where when you buy a celebrity scent, it just feels like one of those fragrances that we just put there as a money grab. This has a little bit of a challenging feel to it, where you can see that Katy Perry was indeed pushing boundaries there. It's going to be a fragrance that some are going to like, some are not going to like, some are going to go crazy about, and some are not going to care for, okay? The only thing I can say as a con in this fragrance, guys, is the fact that it doesn't last a good while. You need to spray quite a lot of it for you to enjoy it. It interprets almost as a skin scent. But if you don't turn a nostril to this fragrance, you will be able to smell it all through. But I've realized that some people do turn a nostril to this kind of scent because it's not meant to push it. It's like a musk with like a fruity plum wrap up, but very unusual there. Not like your obvious, oh, baby powder musk, that's it. It's very unusual there. It's pushing the boundaries, kind of feels like what Sarah Jessica Parker did with that Stash fragrance, where, you know, it does feel like she wasn't going for something that is meant to crowd please. So that is what I get, guys, from this. A faint milkiness, little bit of a coconut tone, although they do not list coconut. It could be just that musk over musk over musk that interprets like a milky thing that feels like a coconut. Okay, Okay, so that's it, guys, for this one. I'm going to see if I can bring it back for the pros and cons in comparison with Indivisible. But for now, let us talk about Indivisible. So I did spray Indivisible on this arm. The one thing that you're going to get from Indivisible is a distinct lactonicness. You're going to get a shy coconut. Something that feels like had a Katy Perry, allowed them to push it a little, this fragrance would have had a little bit of some weight there. That coconut is on a bed of a boozy rum, okay? But this boozy rum doesn't turn this into like a drunken kind of boozy type of fragrance. But it makes the mix, though gentle, come across as one that can borderline bother some people. When coconut in itself can be heady, right? Now imagine, presenting like a boozy type of coconut there with an underlying vanilla. Everything in this is not pushing too much. There is a sweetness. The sweetness is not too sweet. That vanilla is not doing the most. There's a pink pepper, but it's not enough for it to scream as very spicy. Everything is kind of guarded there, but it is a coconut that wraps up this DNA to an extent. I can say if you don't like, wafts of a coconut, you're probably gonna, not like this fragrance. And that coconut then works with a sandalwood that adds also a creaminess to it, as well as a musk. Okay, this fragrance also shares a plum that you're gonna get in this in Indi, in the original Indi, and it is, I think, that plum mixing with a musk that makes some people feel as though this one's feel like an extension of each other. So granted, you may feel that way. I personally don't feel that way, but I can see why some people would feel that way, because the plum and the musk in this Indivisible kind of shifts a little bit there, from time to time to what this particular one is made of. Now, in terms of performance from Indivisible, it is also coming across as a shy, watered down presentation of a fragrance. I'm not sure whether it's going to thicken because this is new. This is going to be the third test run. Although that underlying faint thing that I said can be heady, remember I'm saying heady, not heavy. Heady in the sense that, there is a mix, say, for instance, you're pregnant, that might not be doing too much, but may just borderline annoy you, that sort of thing. So that's what I meant by that. This is not giving me heavy vibes, because I know I did say heady in the beginning, and some people, associate or identify heady with heavy. This is just a concoction that, say, for instance, you're not too big on your coconut mixing with a booze as well as vanilla. It might just, it might just make you feel some type of way. But I personally love the DNA. I just wish, it could have pushed a little further. I don't know whether it's going to macerate to something better, but if I'm to compare with this one, the fact that this one is still not doing the most after all this while, I think these are just going to come across as tamed, guys. Both of them are going to give you comforting vibes, soft, comforting vibes, fragrances that you want to reach out for. Say you're going to bed. If the coconut in here doesn't bother you, you may want to splash on this just to make yourself smell good, all through, without it being beastly or projecting or bothering people around you. Those are the vibes that I get with these two fragrances, guys. Both of them are not trying to push in terms of performance, but they're pushing in terms of, the artistic nature of them, if that makes sense. That performance-wise, they're not beasts. So if you to buy either, don't expect, a fragrance that's going to blow everybody's fragrance away. They just come across as subtle. And I just feel it is that bit that kind of is lacking when it comes to these, that if they could stretch it a little. In fact, if this could have stretched it a little, I think this would be pretty close to Mancera's, is it cocoa vanilla or vanilla cocoa? I always mix that up, because it does feel like that composition, but very, very watered down. So if you like Mancera's cocoa vanilla, if you like Utopia's vanilla cocoa, that kind of combo, you're gonna like that, but do expect a very watered down presentation of that in this. I think that's as best as I can describe it, and that rum there doesn't make this super, super boozy. But if you are into fragrances like myself, you're gonna get wafts of a booziness there. Okay, so do not like say rush for this if you love outright boozy fragrances and then you come in like, where's the booze? Okay, because it is boozy, but not too like drunken boozy like some of the boozy fragrances on the market there, but you can feel that there is an addition of a booziness to that coconut. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's a wrap for today. We had Katy Perry's Indi versus Indivisible. Which one would I recommend? Let me say this I would recommend, because this kind of DNA is pretty doable for a lot of people. This can come across as challenging. It can come across as a bit mature. But for me personally, I still prefer this one over this one. But I'm going to keep both of them because I think they are, fragrances that are easy reach for me. I can wear them anytime. But I'm just saying, if you're wondering which one to go for, I'm going to say try Indivisible, as long as you do not have a problem with that coconut note instead of this one. If you love lotiony, powdery, musky, especially mysterious scents there, tea note, that sort of thing, then you can try this one. C Chronicles is my name. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's meet in the comment section, guys, where we'll obviously discuss more about fragrances. The only other Katy Perry fragrance that I have tried is what's that one? Katy Perry Killer Queen. Okay, Killer Queen, and I do have it in my collection. Actually, I should have just bought the 3. Anyway, we'll do it next time, okay? I'm not sure about the other Muse and whatever, because she's got those cats and stuff. I don't know how those ones smell like, and I will see if I can add them to my collection and then just explore. Katy Perry's knows. Who knows? Maybe I might find a few bangers there. So far, so good. Turn on post notifications, guys, on both my channels. That is, if you have subscribed to the other channel, C Chronicles Talking Sense. That way you get to be notified anytime I upload a video. Stay safe, stay blessed. I'll see you in the next one, and bye for now.